Hello guys, my name is Francisco Elino. So today I'm gonna explain to you about 5 signs of emotional immaturity. The best thing about physical immaturity is that it's very easy to spot. We can so easily tell when someone has another decade for growth to go and can therefore set our expectation and our levels of forbearance accordingly. But we have no such a luxury when it comes to emotional maturity. Here we can be constantly surprised by whom we have on our hands. The most stunning of the most stunning form of immaturity can coexist with all trapping of adult life and a confident and knowledgeable manner. It may be a long time into a love affair or working relationship before we realize that we are unwillingly dealing with this thing. It pays therefore to try to arrive at a few general guidelines for how an emotionally immature person can be spotted and, if necessary, skirted very fast. Here are some of the illness that emotionally immature people have tendency to come with in conversation. Number 1. I'm not so good at spending time on my own. What separates the mature from the immature is, perhaps more than anything else, a capacity of being on their own without distraction and thinking about who they are and what they are experiencing. The mature person can allow themselves to examine and it will feel their own feelings even when these are very difficult and hugely unwelcome. They can stomach and encounter their own rage, their own envy, their own shame. They they don't have to do what immature person actually doing, like constantly find someone or something to prevent them for any risk of understanding of their own mind. Second, I don't really remember about my childhood. There are very few childhood in which difficult things didn't unfold without anyone meanings for this to happen. With the best intention, children development gets impeded and brushed. What counts therefore isn't that someone had a happy childhood. Almost no one in the planet did entirely, but that person should have a calm and insightful view of what their childhood was actually like, and it's good or a bad aspect. It's never a problem, but an inability to remember much about the past doesn't indicate that it was the idyllic or just a long time ago, rather than that it just that has begun yet. The third is, I've never really thought about that before. Yes, emotionally immature people have great difficulties with conversation that requires them to draw a knowledge of their own enthusiasm, sorrows, project, and histories. So as one sits with them and offer a drink and ask, for example, why their last relationship broke up, or what meaningful work constitute for them, or what they regret most childhood. They regret most childhood. One has above average have a change of hearing, perhaps quite sweetly, reply along the illness that the lines that this is to new that they never thought that this before. It isn't the emotionally immature person is being cagey. They simply have a proper inhabited in their own feelings. Number 4, or the fourth, everything is pretty good. It's fine. all fine. It would be crazy to begrudge anyone a good mood. Nevertheless, the immature person isn't over isn't over just a good mood. They are rigidly unable to enter a bad one. Everything is declared fine. Their parents, their job, their love affairs, their sex life, their ambition, because they have no resources of chopping with any uh, that with anything that might be more nuanced and more real than might entail anger, loss, confusion, or wayward desire. One comes away from dialogue with such a person disoriented and lonely. They will say the idea could be uh, you're just thinking it too much. They will say that to that person. And the fifth are that's just a lot of old psychobabble. As soon as conversation threatens their emotional integrity, the emotional immature person will shut it down with the impervious which Frederick this is piece of complicated nonsense. They appeal to an idea robust simplify instead, as though the original of the all our problems might lie in thinking too much. It's the short attitude that might lead to them recommend the anxious person pull themselves together to or to claim that a lot of mental distress come from getting out enough. But um, it's far from confidence. They are not confident about themselves. It's just terrified away and blocking someone's ears and saying no because it will turns that might hurt very much to them. Emotionally immature people can be extremely charming and at points entertaining to be around, but as the general rules, we've been advised to give them a very wide breadth in the and I am to check on them a decade or two. Life is an or life is an far too short, far too interesting. Emotional immature people can be extremely charming at the points, entertaining to be around. But as a general rule, we've been advised to give them a very wide breadth indeed, and I am to check on them in a decade or two. Life is the end of far too short, far too interesting, and far too lonely to spend a very long around with people who lack of any interest in trying to be where it counts emotional grow up. That's all for me. Thank you.